Hi, I'm Melanie Badrovic, also known as the Wealthy Barmaid. Today I want to walk you through the 9 steps to successfully obtaining your first property. Now, because you're here right now, I'm guessing you know the allure of real estate investing is easy to grasp. It offers residual passive income, price and equity appreciation, and the safety of owning a hard asset, just to name a few. I learned early on that owning assets, particularly real estate, is one of the best ways to build wealth and set yourself up for financial freedom. For many people, they shy away from the notion of owning real estate because they think it's really capital intensive, particularly for those who don't already have assets and think there's no way that they could get involved. Either they earn too little at their job, don't have enough savings, or simply think that owning real estate properties and building wealth are for the select few, the elite. The reality is that buying a good rental property is very possible for people from all walks of life, regardless of their background, their education, their salary, their age, their experience level, and so on. There are very low barriers to entry, contrary to popular belief. Anyone who is persistent enough can buy property by using the steps I'm going to share with you today. So let's just dive right in. Step 1, you want to learn about real estate. In a lot of ways, this is the hardest part. Yes, you're going to need to learn a good amount about how real estate actually works. You could start with reading books. At first, you might only understand a quarter of what's in there, but just keep at it. Eventually, you're going to come to understand most of it and begin to grasp how the whole thing works. If you want to expedite the process, take online classes, attend webinars that explain the steps and teach how the process works for investing wisely in real estate, or get yourself a mentor. Be a sponge when it comes to these education sources and experienced people. As it's famously said about real estate investing, the more you learn, the more you'll earn. That's 100% true. Knowledge in this game can really increase your profits and your bottom line, and a lack of it could hurt you. Remember, you don't need to know everything about everything. You just need to know enough about the one niche and strategy you're going to get into. Don't get overwhelmed with the knowledge. Focus on what matters, and then most importantly, take action. Step 2, you got to commit to owning real estate. This is a crucial aspect of the process. I didn't come from any family money, and it took me years working as a bartender and saving, learning how to use other people's money to be able to buy properties, but I knew that I was going to do it. No matter what it took, I was committed. I look at about 100 deals for every one that I buy. That's a clean 1% success rate. However, I don't look at percentages. I look at whether I got the task done or not and how well I closed the deal. Then I try to increase my profits with each new deal that comes along as I become even more experienced. Set your goals and targets and try to hit them. Use them as motivation. If you're committed, then you'll get it done, period. Step 3, develop a strategy. I'm going to give you a strategy that I think is attainable for most people. Buy a single family house, rent it out for income, appreciation, and increased equity. Focus on this strategy and this one alone to start. Don't try to do flips, buy apartments, dabble in wholesaling. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just find the right lender for financing or another investor and buy one single family home to start. This step could also be called focus. You need to focus on achievable goals, and this is it. Choose and master one strategy before moving on to another. Step 4, finding properties. So we've got to find a property, so it's time to start looking. Now, yes, you're actually going to need to spend some afternoons with your real estate agent looking at potential properties. And just like dating, the more you look at, the better you'll recognize the right one when it comes along. Don't be afraid of looking at properties that might need a little work. Things like flooring or landscaping, new cabinets, windows, or countertops. But don't get in over your head either. Make sure that it doesn't need a full structural rehaul. And also make sure you define what you're looking for clearly at the beginning of your search and share that information with your real estate agent. Let your agent know exactly what kind of property you're interested in. You got to give them your criteria up front because it's going to save you a lot of time and get you to your desired outcome faster. These are things like the price, the location, area, and neighborhood, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, does it have a garage or not, pool or no pool, square footage, and so on. Moving on to step number 5. Once you've found the right property that fits all your criteria, you're going to need to run the numbers. Now, we run the numbers to make sure that it's going to make sense financially, that it's going to cash flow positively and prove to be a great long-term investment. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth here in this video on the formulas and calculations for analyzing properties because I don't want to take away from the sequence and valuable information of this training here today, but I do have specific videos and trainings for you to look at to make sure you're doing the right calculations, make sure that you're going to weed out the time wasters and focus only on those profit-producing properties that show a lot of promise. You can find those videos at melaniebadrovic.com. I will show you here, though, 2 formulas that you're going to need to get started analyzing a property quickly to see if it's worth digging deeper into or not. Remember, speed is of the utmost importance when investing in real estate. You'll want to learn how to quickly decipher which deals to pay attention to versus the flops, the ones that are going to waste your time. Okay, and those 2 formulas are net operating income, NOI, and cash flow. With these couple of formulas, you can quickly sift through the many deals that come across your desk on any given day and sort through them efficiently on your way to choosing the best property for you. Now, net operating income is all the income you make on your property after the expenses, but not including the mortgage payment just yet. It's one of the most important numbers to estimate as it's going to determine if your prospects are going to cash flow or not. So make sure you don't miss any expenses, as this will grossly impact your numbers. These are things like vacancy, repairs, HOA fees, utilities if they're not paid by the tenant, maintenance, insurance, property taxes, and so on. The formula for NOI is your net rental income minus expenses, again, not including the mortgage. Then cash flow takes us one step further after calculating our NOI. Cash flow is what we will get after we pay all the expenses, including our mortgage payments. The formula for cash flow is our net operating income minus the debt service, which is your mortgage payment. Now, all you need to do is run these same calculations for your other prospective properties and see how they'll measure up to one another, and you'll know which ones to dig deeper into. These formulas are a great way to filter out the 99% of properties that are not good deals so that you can only focus on the best. Do your homework, learn what the actual expenses are and the income, and then buy the best properties. Just remember, it doesn't stop there. There are other very important formulas you're going to want to run before you buy to make sure you have a great cash flowing property, and other formulas you'll want to do when deciding on what your target rent prices are. Again, you can find those all at www.melaniebadrovic.com. Step 6, here is where we make an offer. Now repeat after me. I will not overpay. Negotiate with the seller and stick to your math from step 5. You might go back and forth a few times and you might even lose the deal and have to start over, but whatever you do, do not overpay. Soon enough, you'll get an offer accepted on the right property and you'll be ready to move on. You'll need to become an expert negotiator. With the right help and information, you can become a pro at this in no time. Step 7. Here's where you're going to find an investor or lender and secure your financing. If you're seeking an investor, you want to make sure that you're educated on all factors regarding real estate investing. Investors have a language that they like to speak, including terms like ROI, cash-on-cash return, principal, debt service, cap rate, and all other kinds of terms of the business. Learn the language, understand the process, know what makes a good deal, then shop your deal to investors. I'm also a big believer that good deals find the money. This is why I'm suggesting that you get a deal under contract before pitching an investor, of course with the right conditions on your offer, enabling you to walk away from the deal without penalty in the event you can't find an investor or secure financing. At some point, any investor is going to want to know how much money they're going to make. So you'll want to tell them what their cash-on-cash return on investment is going to be, what the cap rates are, and when they're going to be able to see the returns on their investment. Be conservative here. Investors will want to know how much vacancy, maintenance, and other expenses you're allotting for. If they think that you're overselling a deal, they'll be turned off. So under-promise and over-deliver makes your life a lot easier and also helps you build long-term relationship with the investor. Step number 8, you're going to do your due diligence. At this point, you want to make sure that there are no hidden surprises at the property. So hire a property inspector to walk through every inch of the property looking for potential problems. If you find any, either suck it up if it's not too bad, ask the seller to fix it if it is bad, Or if it's really bad, walk away. During this time, your real estate agent's going to help you shuffle the correct paperwork between them, your lender, and your title company to get everything closed. This brings us to step number 9. Purchase the property and then get it leased. So you're going to need to create an entity with your investor if you have one, set up a bank account, and likely file LLC documents in whatever state you're in. At this point, you're going to create your scope of work documents, get your agreements ready with your contractors before starting renovations. Ideally, you would have gotten quotes from contractors prior to closing for the renovations to take away any uncertainty for how much your reno is going to cost. And please make sure that you have agreements in place with your contractors prior to the renovation starting. I have scope of work documents and other contractor agreements that I use, again, available to you at melaniebadrovic.com for you to use as a tool. Having those in place before any work starts ensures that your projects are done on time and on budget every time. Make sure not to go over budget with your renovations. As a first-time investor, you might get really excited once you really get into the renovations, and you could easily get carried away. You have no idea how many times I've seen this happen. I know it's exciting and it's your property and you love seeing all the wonderful changes and upgrades you're doing to the place. But please remember, this is an investment, not a home for yourself, and you have to stick to the numbers in order for this deal to make sense. And one final step on our road to successfully investing in real estate is to stay persistent and keep pushing. This is a simplified step-by-step process. There's a lot of intricacy that I just can't sufficiently cover in this one video. You're going to have some difficulties, some challenges and obstacles, maybe bad tenants or renovation problems, and potentially many other kinds of issues. But don't freak out. Work towards a solution. Seek help and guidance from other successful investors and never, ever quit. As long as you stay persistent, you're going to be successful. Owning real estate for the first time can seem like a daunting and insurmountable task. I know the feeling all too well. I used to watch the shows on television where people would flip a house in a few weeks and make an enormous sum of money. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? The reality is that there are a lot of hard components to investing in real estate the right way. For beginners, I strongly suggest buying single-family homes, renting them out as a first strategy. It's a safe way to get in the game, gain experience, and also make some money through cash flow, building your equity and wealth at the same time, and having your tenants pay down your loan. You won't become rich in a week. It is a gradual process, but if you want to become wealthy, this is the road to get started on. The key to building this kind of long-term wealth is having compound interest work for you, not against you. Buying rental property is the most attainable way to do this. If you need some help setting up your strategy and getting started with your real estate investment goals to get some real results fast, sign up for my free live advanced masterclass where we go over the steps necessary to map out your investing strategy, find, analyze, finance, and close profitable deals and build wealth with real estate investment properties. Click the link below to get started. Thanks, we'll see you soon.